It's your boy Davon. I am a gospel rap artist. I come up with a lot of catchy hooks, a lot of catchy songs. I get a lot of my inspiration just sitting at the light. When I'm sitting at the light, waiting on the light to turn green, that's when a lot of my inspiration just pops into my head. So on this particular day, I'm sitting at the light and the title of a book pops in my head that's entitled From the Streets to the Scriptures. And I'm saying to myself, wow, that's powerful. It just popped in my head. So I'm saying to myself, if I could write a book entitled From the Streets to the Scriptures, that would make things even better for me. That would even open more doors for me. But I knew I was not a writer. I knew that I was not an author. And because that kind of stuff just seemed like that was out of my reach. You know what I'm saying? I always thought that people that was able to write books, they was from another planet. That was just something that I just couldn't do. So here it is, going from church to church, like I said, and I'm up there rapping, doing my thing, and I would always give my testimony, right? So at the end of this testimony on this particular Sunday morning, I'm giving at this church, and I said, yes, and I want everybody to know that I have a book coming out too that's entitled From the Streets to the Scriptures. And the church said, oh, they were like, amen, and they clapping hands and they celebrating that I'm writing a book, because at that time I had just kind of came into the ministry. I hadn't been in it that long. So while they up there clapping their hands and celebrating me, I'm just saying to myself, why did you just lie to this church? You ain't writing no book. But I had that title, and it just felt good, and I wanted to share it. I wanted to see what they was gonna say about the title. So they did exactly what I thought they would do. So they celebrating about this book. Church is over, everybody shaking my hand. Hey man, that's powerful right there, man. The title of that book, that's powerful. I can't wait for that to come out, man, because we know some boys, some teens that need to get their hands on that book, man, about your life and all that. So I'm saying, okay, I knew I just lied to the church, but I was receiving all of the love. So I would go from church to church. Steady line. Got this book coming out, From the Streets to the Scriptures, From the Streets to the Scriptures. I'm going everywhere, telling everybody. Everybody know about this book. I'm lying. Basically, I'm just being honest. I'm lying because I wasn't writing no book. Wasn't thinking about writing none, but I would love to have a book, but I didn't want to write it because I knew that required some real time and effort. Something that I just didn't want to do. So here it is. One day I'm at the mall and I run into this lady. And she comes up to me, she says, excuse me, aren't you the guy that rap? So, I've been rapping forever, so I didn't know if she was talking about from the secular world or from the gospel world. So I said, yes, ma'am. And she said, my pastor was just talking about you the other day at church. I said, okay, this is from the gospel world, right? She said, he was telling us that you had a book coming out, and he wanted all us to make sure that we supported you on this book. She said, what's the name of it again? I said, From the Streets to the Scriptures. And she said, yeah, that's it. That's the book he was talking about. And he said that a lot of young men and women need to get their hands on that book, so they can hear about your story. Like, the kingdom really needs that. And I'm saying to myself, okay, thank you, ma'am. But I'm really saying to myself on the inside is that I am not even writing a book. Oh my God. What am I going to do? I'm not even writing a book. So when she was getting ready to leave, she said, so when is the book coming out so I can let my pastor in the church know? I said, ma'am, it should be out this summer. She said, the beginning of the summer. I said, yeah, sometime in June. She said, okay, I'm going to tell everybody. And then I'm saying to myself, because at this time it's November, so I just threw something out there. It should be out by this summer, man. That's months. So I didn't think nobody was paying attention. Well, I didn't think nobody was expecting the book to really come out. People say stuff all the time and you get all excited for the moment and then nobody ain't think about you. So that particular church, I hadn't been there in almost a year at that time when she told me that. So I'm saying to myself, they still remember about that book? So anyway, now I'm saying to myself, I really got to write this book. So I leave there, I go to Office Depot, and I go in there, I say, where are your pens, sir? He said, aisle 8. I go in there, I get the pens. Now I'm feeling like an author. Where's your book? Where's your paper at, sir? He said, over on aisle 7. So I go get the papers, and I got the pens, and I got the paper, and I'm feeling like an author right now. I get in that doggone line. I'm standing behind people, and I'm saying to myself, they don't know that it's an author in the building. So I'm getting all excited, and I'm all I'm all happy that I'm getting ready to write a book. But the only thing is, I don't know how to write one. But the good part is now I'm inspired to write one because I ran into that lady. So I get home and I'm sitting there and I'm struggling. I can't even come up with nothing because I didn't want to start my book off saying, my name is David Dantzler. My artistry name is Davine. I was born in a little town called Orangeburg. I didn't want to start my book like that. That's boring. So I want to start my book with some fire. So sit there for about an hour and a half. I couldn't write nothing on the paper. Next thing you know, the brand new paper and pens are in a drawer being closed. And I didn't know what to do. So I'm sitting around. So that was the beginning of November. So month goes by. Here it is, December. So I decided I'm going to call my cousin. I got a cousin that wrote a book, couple of books. And I want to call her and get her expert opinion. But, sometimes you don't really want to bother family with your burdens. But I said, I'm going to go ahead and reach out to her anyway. And plus, she was at one of my shows at a church when I was telling people about my book that was coming out, my so-called book anyway, that was coming out. And she was there. So when I called, I said, cuz, I want to talk to you about this book that I'm supposed to be putting out. She said, yeah, how's that coming, cuz? I said, cuz, it ain't coming at all because I ain't even started on it. And she laughed something heavy on that phone. But anyway, I told her the problem I was having, that I didn't know how to start my book. And within like 3 seconds, she told me how to start my book. Boom. He said, well, cuz, why don't you just start it like this? Boom. And she gave me a fantastic idea. I'm not going to tell you what the idea is because you got to read the book. But anyway, she gave me a fantastic idea, and it made the hairs on my body just stand up. I was ready to start writing right then. And she told me, she said, cuz, if you need help on it, I'll help you for free. I want to help edit it for you. She said, you write it. Each chapter you write, you send it to me and we'll just work it like that because I want to help you put this book out. And I was shocked because I wasn't even going to call cuz anyway. But she told me that. So the next day I woke up, I start writing. Next thing you know, I got a whole intro done. I called her. I said, cuz, listen to this. I read it to her. She was like, cuz, that was hot. She said, that was really good. For you to say that you're not an author, that was really good. But she said, you said you're writing this? I said, yeah. She said, cuz, you need to be typing this in a computer because we're going to have to transfer it anyway. I said, cuz, I'm not really a typer. I'm a pecker. She said, well, peck your life away because we have to transfer it anyway. So you're going to work yourself double harder writing it and still have to type it anyway. I said, cuz, you're right. So the next day I'm pick. And I got through. So I kept going from chapter to chapter. And I kept sending to her. And believe it or not, by March, I had already done written 17 chapters. And we just, by this time, we just editing and going back and forth, proofreading and getting the cover and pictures and all this stuff done. And we kept going back and forth and doing this and doing that. And I'm just telling my story. Once my cuz gave me the idea, my story just started to flow from the belly. I didn't know I had it in me, but I didn't know I remembered all of that stuff from my childhood up to now. Even my mom, she read books. She said, how you remember all that stuff? But I had no idea. So I'm writing and it's just flowing and it's just flowing and just flowing. As a matter of fact, my cousin had to tell me, cuz, you might be got too many chapters. Let's chapter 17, that's it. I believe she had to stop me because I was just going to go on and on and on. So I was able to tell my story and get all this stuff up out of me. And do you know, after we did everything and after we went through all of the process of, working with the book cover and all this stuff, don't you know, when I finally released my book, it was in June. It was that summer in June, like I had told that woman. And I said to myself, wow, look at how God works. Won't he do it? But see, I'm telling everybody, I've been lying to all these churches. I got this book coming out, but I really believe that I was speaking that thing because the title popped in my head. Like I said at the light, that's when the inspiration comes to me. It popped in my head. And I just was going around, getting the, a little private glory from people by telling them about this title of this book. I didn't know what was happening. I just know I had a title. I had no interest in writing this book until I ran into that lady and she told me that people was expecting it. So that resonated something in my spirit that said, hey, now I have to do my part. And then when I talked to my cousin, she told me how to write my book, I instantly got inspired. So I wrote it. So I just want to say to everybody out there that you never know what you are able to do or what you're going to be able to do. You never know what God has for you. You never know. You may just be saying that I'm going to do this, and people might look at you like, yeah, whatever. We heard that before. But at the end of the day, I do really believe, after that, I really believe that you have to speak those things that you want to happen in your life. So from that, now, everything that I do, I always pre-talk about it. Because, I always did things different in life. I'm the type of person that I will buy the car first and then, figure out how I'm going to make the payments second. That's just me. I always like to work under the pressure and under the gun. That's how I always did things. But so now when I'm up there talking about I'm going to do stuff, I always know that if anything that I say, I have to live up to it. So let me let y'all know now that I have another book coming out that's entitled A Letter to the Church. But I know y'all don't believe me. I know y'all saying he just saying that he ain't writing nothing. It could be true and it could not be true. But at the end of the day, stay inspired and just know that things don't just happen to be happy. God has a purpose for everybody's life. And I hope you got inspired. All of my future authors out there that got something in your belly that need to get it out, go ahead and get it out. Because if I did it, I know you could do it. Thank you. Holla at your boy, Davine.